Brandon Benefield, Gerard Bonner, and Diana Michelle.
What's going on, everybody? It's that time of the week. It's Friday. You know what that means. It's time for the SHW podcast. This right here is our wrestling. It's me, B Double, Brandon Benefield, alongside the great GB Grilled Bacon, Gerard Bonner. And the beautiful,
we're doing that. Yeah.
the beautiful Diana Michelle.
Oh, boy.
Just let me give you a quick behind the scenes here. The reason I even bring that up, it was something that happened at Waffle House that cracked us up. You know, on the receipts at Waffle House, they write GB, or they have the different codes that they write for the food. Well, we saw GB, we're like, oh, this must be his receipt. And they're like, why would they know his name? Oh, it stands for grilled bacon. That's not his receipt after all. Anyways,
now the fans are going to start calling it grilled bacon.
Oh no, I'm sorry, I didn't even think about that. Sorry about that.
Happen.
Just wait till you see Cheyenne's next sign.
Exactly. It's going to happen in my man bun or something. Yeah.
With the grilled bacon.
I'm so sorry. This took a turn I wasn't even expecting, and that's my bad.
Mercy, Cheyenne. Mercy.
Yeah, please have mercy on him. Draw me with the bacon. It's not GB. Anyways, I love bacon. Everybody loves bacon. But the reason we were at the Waffle House this week is because I got to see you guys. I had a bonus encounter with you guys as we ran a Nightmare Factory student showcase from the Action Building, the home of Southern Honor Wrestling. And GB and I were calling the action. Diana was doing the ring announcing, and it was an absolutely great time. So I was going to say, how was y'all's week? But I just saw you a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm tired, okay?
Right.
I'm tired.
Right.
It was great. And I so love seeing you guys in the middle of the week, but I'm so tired.
Right.
I'm going to be crashing. I'm going to get some food in a minute and then done.
Yep.
Well, you know, there's a way to fix that.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
Come on up. Come on up here.
I know.
I'm
It's
just
not as
saying.
easy as it is to say it. If it was that easy, I would just speak it like, genie it out.
I'm just saying, give yourself a year. Just
Blink and
saying.
twinkle my nose.
I mean, you're gonna need to travel anyway. So, but anyway, let me
This
shut
is
up.
true. This
I
is
don't
true. One
want to.
day, it's
Well,
more.
before you go get food and before you go crash, we have a big show ahead of us here on this
Yes.
podcast tonight. Not
And
only
I don't mean Paul White.
right down that big show. Hey,
Yeah.
not that. We have a big show coming up next week, SHW 52. So of course tonight we are going to preview that show. We've got a great card lined up, and on top of that, we have a very special guest.
Oh,
You know him as
yes.
the Kenway. He's been making his way through Southern Honor over the last few months. Ever since he's shown up, he's impressed a lot of people. He's become a fan favorite, and he's got a huge championship match coming up next week for the first ever Jake the Snake Legacy Championship. It's going to be amazing.
I thought you were going to say he's got a huge chip on his shoulder.
It
That would have been a good time for that. But
Yeah, I'm saving it for you. You can say that. Go ahead.
Well, I just did.
Oh yeah. Well, to your point, on our last pre-show before SHW 51, as you'll recall, speaking of Chip Day showed up unexpectedly on a live mic, which made me very nervous, but had a lot to say about the Kenway, and of course the Kenway wanted to have an opportunity to come on our show and kind
And
of
to be fair,
yeah. So we'll see. So now we'll see what he has to say. But I also don't know a lot about the guy, so I kind of feel like we should get to know him a little bit. And I think the SHW faithful would kind of want to get to know him a little bit as well, because we've only seen him a handful of times over the last couple of months. So anyways, without any further ado, let's talk to the Kenway. Check it out. Well, our special guest has arrived. It's none other than the Kenway. How you doing, buddy?
Up? I'm doing real good. I'm doing real good. How about y'all?
All right, yeah, doing well.
we're good. We're good.
yeah, I'm anxious.
Anxious? Why are you anxious?
Well, because you have a big match coming up. We're going to talk about your match later, but you have a big match coming up at SHW 52.
Why would you be anxious?
There's
It's
so
not like
much
you're
right
taking-
here.
it's not like
My
you're
heart is
taking
really
time.
pounding. It's really, really pounding because I'm scared. I don't know
There's
why.
been a bit of tension.
Yeah, there's
And
anticipation. I
tension.
don't know what's going to be said and what's going to happen. And
Yeah.
oh my God,
It's
the
not like-
repercussions.
Diana, it's not like you've openly taken anyone's side or,
Oh,
been fully behind them or anything like that. Nah, I'm giving you trouble.
Something tells me that Kenway has been keeping up with the podcast.
Yes.
Love the program.
Yes.
Love the
I'm
program.
a fan. Okay, I love me some Bad Boy Chip. I do. I
And
do.
Well,
that's
maybe-
perfectly fine. He's a good wrestler.
I was gonna say maybe
Questionable
after
person, good
today you.
wrestler.
Oh.
Well, I didn't say I wasn't a fan of Kenway, but I just do love me some Bad Boy Chip. So
Fair. That's
Well,
fair.
I tell you guys what before we get into that,
yeah,
because
yeah.
it is the week before SHW 52, so we're gonna do our normal preview show like we normally do. But
Mhm.
because we have Kenway with us, how about we have a little segment getting to know Kenway, and
Let's do that.
then we'll jump into previewing SHW 52. And since Kenway's here, he can preview the show with us, and then we can talk about that upcoming
That would
match.
be great.
All right.
Perfect.
Well, before we get going too far, I mean, we know that you've been in the business. We know you took a little hiatus.
Yeah.
I've only been in the business technically since 2018. These two came and joined me shortly thereafter. 2019 was it, guys? So
At
Kenway
Southern Honor, yes.
at
Yes.
Southern Honor,
Okay.
yeah. So Kenway, I know you were around a little before that, but see, I didn't know you till you got to SHW. So I got to know a little bit of your background, man. When'd you get started?
So I got started training 2015. Yeah, 2015. Debuted 2016, and pretty much just traveled my ass off. Nope. I already did it, didn't I?
That's fun.
I gotta censor that one.
That's okay.
I just traveled a ton. I've trained originally by Mike Outlaw. I've trained with some Ring of Honor champions. Sitting under the murdered one, learning tree right now. And then just traveled as much as I could. So I've wrestled pretty much everywhere in the Midwest and the South, especially. Like the South has kind of always welcomed me as home. I've been up in Canada before, so I've done the international stuff for Alpha One. Not sure if you guys are familiar with them.
Oh yeah.
So I wrestled for Alpha One back in the day. Made my home in Atlanta at Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment, which was the precursor, I guess we'll say, to Southern States Pro, which is where I've based myself out of now with you guys. It's an honor.
Mm-hmm.
So there, did a lot of the stuff up in St. Louis. But yeah, just getting out there as much as I can. That was the main thing. And that's the background, is literally just hit the road. And I made it a mission of mine. Like, I quit college. I was in college. I left college, hit the road running, and haven't really stopped ever since. Like, I took my hiatus when I did, went and made some really good money. And, everyone talks about the itch. You get the itch to come back, and I got the itch to come back because I could be a millionaire at the job I had. I could have been a millionaire off of it, and I would have. I would much rather be a millionaire because of professional wrestling, though, and I will be.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not cockiness, that's confidence, because, like, I'm a big believer in speak what you want into existence. I'm gonna be a millionaire because of professional wrestling, and I'm going to make it happen.
Give me chills. I like it.
I mean,
love that.
It's like real talk. So, like,
Yeah, I love that
you guys
attitude.
talk with Gary Lamb. Gary Lamb was a big fan of the guy I used to work for, Andy Frisella, and I'm huge into the visualization and just speaking that stuff out into the world, because it does happen. We're talking about the Legacy Championship match, right? I am, every day that I train, I am picturing that match in the forefront of my mind during my runs, during my lifts, everything. That's what I'm focused on. I'm visualizing the outcome of that, and it's gonna happen.
Wow. I like the sound of it. There's been a lot of conversation about you and about the hiatus.
Mhm.
When Chip came on, and I know we'll obviously dig into, we're going to rip that Band-Aid off at some point. One of the real issues Chip had was with the hiatus. So let's talk about what was the cause for the hiatus for from pro wrestling? What did you do during that time? And what was the thing that gave you ultimately the itch to come back?
So I don't need, like, there's a lot of things that factored into me going out of the hiatus. When I left at the middle of the pandemic.
Okay.
So I went and I pursued something different. What I did, I worked for a company called Supplement Superstores. I did a lot of work with them, got a bunch of certifications. So I'm a CrossFit coach certified. I'm a NASM personal trainer, NASM certified sports nutrition coach. I got a bunch of letters after my name that at the end of the day, they were cool. And I really did love helping people because that's what my job was. I was literally there like writing meal plans for people every day and making sure people were staying on track. And I loved that. But then one day, Camaro Jackson, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of him, out of the Midwest, phenomenal professional wrestler. Hopefully we will see him down in Southern Honor one day because he is that damn good of a professional wrestler. Camaro just called me one day randomly, and he was asking for some advice on the faction that I had started, the Premier. And he was just asking me for some advice on some of the things. And, we were talking, he's like, so when you coming back? I'm like, nah, haha, funny. And then he put that little seed in my mind. And we had done a tag match together and, just kind of ran some things. And the next thing you know, like, I left that job where I was going to probably make 6 figures in the next 2 years and then 7 figures past that. And I realistically looked at it and I said, no, I want to complete my legacy as a professional wrestler. Like, this is what I am good at. There are things that you are meant to do in this world. And this is one of the things that I'm meant to do in this world is be a damn good professional wrestler. I know I've said a damn a couple times and I'm sorry, Brandon.
That's all right, man.
You're fine.
I know we're a family friendly company, but
have you been to an SHW show?
Yeah, have you heard our general manager do a promo?
Yeah, exactly.
We try and do our part. Yeah.
Right.
You're good, buddy. Say whatever you want.
Don't tell me that. That's
right. So I want to understand, because part of the reason that we wanted to have you on is because we really wanted you to have an opportunity to just kind of show the world who you were. Chip has obviously come on. He's had a lot of things to say, and he spoke, about that hiatus. So what you're telling me is that the hiatus that you took was during the pandemic, which was a time that was rather difficult for a lot of wrestlers, where some couldn't wrestle, some didn't have companies that were open to wrestle, and you took the opportunity to step away from wrestling to pursue, another passion during a very difficult time. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes. And I wouldn't say another passion. Like I was passionate about it, but it wasn't the passion.
Got you.
When I stepped away, let's put it this way. I won the 0-1 heavyweight championship 2 days before I decided to leave wrestling.
Wow.
Wow.
When I left wrestling, didn't know what the future was going to hold. And to be honest, I don't have a family yet, but I plan to have a family one day. I plan to have kids. I plan to have a wife and as much land as I can possibly buy. Excuse me. My plan was, I don't know what's happening with wrestling right now. I'm not 100% sure. There was a lot of other stuff going on in my life that I don't talk about. I'm going to do this to make sure things are good. And when I went to make sure things were good, that was pre-planning for what I want to provide for the family I want to have.
Gotcha.
Like, I don't want to be 45 years old, not have a wife, not have kids, and then just sitting around on a pile of money. That ain't what I want. I'll be 100% honest about that. Like, and it all kind of comes back to legacy. Like, what's the legacy I want to leave that family when I get there? That's why, like, being in the Legacy Championship tournament for me, it means so damn much, because the legacy that half of my family left me isn't a good one. I'm just going to be 100% honest. My cousin is a thief that they made a movie about called American Animals. He's a felon. That's the most famous thing my family has done. I've got more cousins in the grave right now because of drug overdoses than I do alive. I have a family history of addiction. I have 2 parents who worked their asses off to provide for me, because I went to Catholic high school. I went to Catholic grade school. I went to private schools my entire life. Now, let me make one thing very clear. I was the poorest kid in those private schools growing up. Like everyone, people hear like, oh, you went to private school, you must have money. No, we didn't. There was a point in time where we were on food stamps, and my parents always provided to make sure that we at least had a roof over our heads, we had clothes, and they gave us the best life they could. What does everyone always say? I want to give my kids better than what I had. Well, I want to give my kids better than what I had. I want to leave them a legacy that no matter what happens to me, they are born into a good life. They know how to work, but they don't have to. That's the overall goal. So that's why this Legacy Championship means so much to me as a person, because winning this championship with Jake the Snake's name on it, winning this tournament automatically accelerates me up the card, automatically establishes me permanently in the company. My name will always be in Southern On because of that, right? That means more money in my envelope. That means, hey, more eyes are going to be on me, right?
Absolutely.
And then you bring in the issues with Chip at the other end, and that's a whole other end of the spectrum now, because instead of this being about what I want to give my family, now I got to get even with him, because I'm gonna get even. Let me tell y'all, I'm gonna hold off. Sorry, I'm gonna hold off.
We're gonna get close to ripping that Band-Aid off, because
we can sense where you're going. Yeah, absolutely. GB, go ahead.
Yeah, this is also intriguing. I love these kinds of conversations because we really get to dig. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted us to be able to talk to you, because there's obviously another side to what we've been hearing. And so I'm gonna dig a little bit just because it's what I do.
Please do.
So
open book.
So you win the 0-1 championship. And then 2 days later, you decide to leave the business.
Yep.
What triggered that particular decision? Because you'd figure if you've just won a championship, most people are like, wow, finally won the title. Let me go defend it. Let me have a good run. What made you say, okay, I won it, I'm out?
Yeah, was that when the pandemic hit, or was this a little before that?
This was October.
Okay,
October 2020. So pandemic has hit.
Gotcha. So we're in the midst of it. Yeah.
We're in the middle of it.
Yeah.
You know? And that show, I had gotten COVID at that show. Which, you know, I had gone home, show my grandparents the belt and stuff. So, hey, I'd exposed my grandparents to COVID, which that on my head wasn't a great thing for me. Was out of work for 2 weeks. Was losing money out the ass.
Yeah.
I sat there, I won the title in front of 15 fans in a church in the middle of Illinois. Not how you dream of winning a company's heavyweight championship.
Right.
Not how you dream of winning a title that you had been chasing for damn near 2 years. That factored into it. My headspace, I'll be 100% honest with all y'all. My headspace wasn't in the best place. And a lot of people will talk about things like that, or they won't talk about that, you know.
Honestly, during that time, man, I think a lot of people were in that same kind of headspace during that pandemic, during that time, especially. So yeah, I don't think you were alone there.
Yeah.
No, and you know, I've been able to keep my head up through a lot of stuff, and it was at that point I was like, I might need to explore other options, because at that point we don't know if anything's going to be around. And you know, getting COVID, which floored me to the point where I didn't get out of bed for 4 days. You know, didn't put me in a good headspace. Exposing my family to it didn't put me in a good headspace. Like a bunch of things happened.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, my heart just wasn't in it at that point. And you know, certain people will experience that sometimes, where it's just like, a lot of people took the entire pandemic off, or they took an entire year out of the pandemic off, which is totally acceptable. My real hiatus was from my hiatus realistically lasted 6 months, because I came back in June 2021 and didn't wrestle, but I was ringside with my boys. I was with my boys while they were doing their thing in St. Louis. I was with my boys in 2022 working tag matches and wrestling tag team matches. So I was only gone for like 6 months realistically. So that's why, like, when I hear things like, oh, he's year one again, he's year one, he's day one again, I'm not. I took a little bit of downtime and I came right back. I came right back at a high level, I might say. And I'm gonna just say that just because I've had good showings since I came back. It's not like I'm very fortunate that I didn't have a lot of ring rust to get off. So for me, like, I was able to get back in the ring and it just go just right back in sync.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't have that. A lot of people need 5 or 6 matches to get warmed back up. For me, I was just right back in it.
Absolutely. And I can only speak from the experience at SHW, but you've come in a few months ago and right away impressed everybody, has quickly become a fan favorite as well. So, I mean, yeah, I would have been able to tell that you had any time off. So,
Right.
Which, and that's another thing is, you know, I wasn't the fan favorite before. I was very, very, I'm going to say, driven to get what I wanted, however I wanted it, which, you know, I took some shortcuts, made some fans upset, had some fans try to fight me. That was what it was. But then, like, in my time off, I realized, like, nah, like, I've got to prove to people that I'm as good of an athlete as I say I am, and that I'm as good as I say I am, and I can't be taking all these shortcuts to do that. So you can go back and look at old footage of me, and I'm hateable. I mean, people, the way I used to act was very hateable, and now I'm trying to be a better person. End of the day, I'm trying to be a better person, and Chip Day is really trying to pull the old me back. And if the old me comes back, he ain't gonna like it.
you know, it's interesting that you bring that up because somebody else that recently kind of went through that named Joe Black, who I think you know pretty well, is he used to be the killer weight, then he became the Black Cloud, and then Murder just brought that killer weight back out of him, and he's been on a tear ever since. And now look at him, he's a SHW tag team champion.
Him and Murder, the hierarchy, running up with the tag team division, running the tag team division again, which is great.
Yeah.
It's great to see Murder back in the ring, and like Joe's never. Joe, I know, said like the killer weight came back recently. It never left. He has always been like one of the best going, no matter what. And like that's why Southern Honor fans took to him so fast and like always been with him, is because Joe's the man. Joe's awesome.
Yes, he is.
Like I've gone toe to toe with him twice, and it is not an easy feat going in the ring with him.
You got my respect already, just the fact that we're in the ring at all with him.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've been fortunate. I've gotten to step in the ring with a lot of the greats of Southern wrestling and like go toe to toe with them, and you know, hold my own.
I want to ask, since you've mentioned Joe Black and Murder One, the hierarchy, how did you get connected with Murder One, and what led to you guys having the relationship that you have?
I mean, I was working AWE. I mean, I guess it predates AWE. Murder came into St. Louis and just was looking for somewhere to eat. I gave him a good recommendation. We just started, started talking there, and I started listening because I know Murder One has trained some of the best.
Yeah.
Murder One, like Jimmy Rave, RIP. Murder One trained Jimmy Rave. Yeah. Caleb Conley, Murder One trained him. Chip Day, like Murder's got the list, right? So even before like Murder really like took me in and like really started like coaching me up, I was always just like, hey, what do you think about this? What's your opinion of this? Hey, can I bounce this off you? And always willing to listen. He's always willing to teach. If you're willing to listen, which is the big key. Are you willing to be coachable? Which, I mean, in any aspect of life is the important thing. And that's how I linked up with Murder. And then when I came back, first person I messaged was Murder One. And I was like, hey, I'm coming back. I want my first match back to be for Combine Day. And I went out to Combine Day at Southern States, wrestled one of the best wrestlers in the Southeast, hell, one of the best wrestlers in the country, had a good showing, did what I've always done, and that is give it my all, and came out on top. And there's no one else I would have rather re-debuted in this business for, in this sport for, I should say.
Yeah.
And that's how, like, I got linked with Murder, and there was a point in time where when I was running with Chip originally, Chip and I were on opposite sides of the hierarchy. Fun fact for everyone to know. There was a point in time where the hierarchy had cast Chip out. Chip took me in, and we literally tried to destroy the hierarchy. Didn't succeed at all, by the way. And then there was a point where, I'll be honest, I turned on Chip. and I beat the crap out of him. And that was a naive mistake I made when I was a younger man that I wish I didn't make, but I'm actually glad I made it at the same time because it taught me a lot of lessons. And did I succeed in my goal of winning at that time the Georgia Wrestling crown? No. But I stole the show on a show that had a freshly released WWE superstar on it. And Joe Black and I went out there and tried to kill each other, in all honesty, but we stole the show. So, not exactly mad about it. Even with mess ups, you're gonna end up where you need to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's part of the journey.
I see GB's wheels turning. What do you
Yeah, I
got?
do too.
What do you got?
So the question then is, so tell us about how you met Chip. How'd you meet Chip, and what was that? What got you guys close?
Oh God, it would have been 2017. So it would have been like one of my first AWE shows, and the crew that I was riding down with, they were all cool with Chip. They knew Chip, and they were all cool with Chip. And then I started going to AWE by myself because there wouldn't be a St. Louis carload. So what does young Kenway do? Well, I'm going to get in the car and I'm going to drive to AWE, and I'm going to do whatever I can to get on the show. And I did. I did battle royals for a year straight before I even got a singles match. Wow. And eventually started befriending Chip. He offered me and the crew to stay at his house once, and we stayed at his house, and I found out, like, oh, we like a lot of the same music. Oh, we like a lot of the same shows and stuff like that, and connected that way. We're both baseball fans. We both like the Braves. Like, you know, we built off that. My family, half my family lives in Georgia. So the good half of my family, I will say, the half of my family that I have a good legacy from is from Georgia, and I go down there and I see them. So like we connected because I was cool on a lot of the Georgia stuff, and Chip and I bonded that way. We did a lot of the same shows in a lot of the same places together. And I feel like I reminded him of a young him in the fact of working hard and like trying to get your foot in the door everywhere you could and do what you can. When we deviated though. And damn, does it suck losing friends, but you have to wonder how good the friendship actually was when a couple of years down the line, when you think like, now we're on fair enough footing, they come on a pre-show and start talking about how you're a trash human being, right? Like I'm a trash human being. I wasn't a trash human being all the times that we had good heart-to-heart talks like brothers in my house, in your house, in cars going back from Florida. I wasn't a trash human being then, but I'm a trash human being now that I'm standing across the ring from you, right? I'm a trash human being now because me and him don't get along the same way we used to, right? Let me be very honest when I say this. I wasn't a trash human being then. I don't think I'm a trash human being now. I try to be a better man than I was the day before every single day of the week. But I don't think Chip actually thinks I'm a trash human being. You know what I think Chip is doing? Chip's trying to take me off my game. Chip took me off my game at the last show. Let me be 100% honest about that. The last time that me and Chip wrestled, my eye was off the ball. You know why? Because an hour before the show, while I'm sitting in the locker room putting my gear on, he throws out a promo, says what he says, and it caught me off guard because I was just like, oh, we're all right, let's go. Like, I just wanted to make him eat his words, right? And I wanted to prove that, like, oh, I can match Chip at his game. Chip's a phenomenal wrestler, by the way. Phenomenal. He's got a great mind on him too, because he took me out of my element. And that's why I went to a time limit draw. Real talk, I'm more dialed in than ever. So Chip wants to run his mouth about how I'm a trash human being. Whatever, dude. I know what you're trying to do. I'm going to just run my foot through his jaw until it shuts him up. He wants to talk all this. Let's be real. He wants to talk all this shit over Wi-Fi because he knows he ain't going to pick up that phone and call me. He ain't going to say that to me, is he? No. He going to say that on a pre-show that I'm not able to watch because I'm in the dressing room getting ready, taping up, making sure I'm actually prepared for my match. He's going to come on y'all's pre-show and run me down, right? Did that happen? GB, did that happen?
It did happen.
Brandon, did that happen?
It certainly happened. Yeah.
Diana?
It happened. It did.
Didn't put it online. He said it where I wouldn't find out about it until I watched the recap show. So what happens now? A couple different things could happen. I could run up on him at his house, real talk. I know where he stays. I could do that. I'm in Georgia almost every other week now. Could do that, right? Don't need to do that though. Because when he steps in the ring with me, he thinks he's stepping in the ring with a 20-year-old who's just happy to be there. Nah, he's stepping in a ring with a 26-year-old man who has a score to settle and has a legacy to build for himself. And I sure as hell am not going to let old yuck-mouth Chip stand in the way of that.
So when y'all fell out the first time, there was no coming back. Y'all didn't.
No, we rekindled.
But was it like it was before, or was it just kind of
No, it
still
wasn't
like?
going to be like it was before.
Yeah.
And nothing was going to make it like it was before, but
There's always that little bit in
Yeah.
the back of your
there's always that
mind.
little tinge.
Yeah.
And you know what? Real talk, I didn't expect it to be like it was before. And I don't want it to be like it was before. I don't want to take orders from Chip Day. Good Lord, why would I want to do that? Right?
So going to that, what made you turn on him back then? Was it because he was like treating you like the young boy, or what was it?
Yeah. At the end of the day, like that's what it was. And like, I'm not going to say I didn't let the little bit of jealousy in the back of my mind get to me. Like he was champion, right? But I had a very attractive MTV reality star in my ear telling me all the things that she could do for me and all the things that we could accomplish together. And I ran with it because why wouldn't I? I knew how good of a wrestler I was. Why was I there teaming with a guy who, to be honest, wasn't quite on my level? And I'm not talking Chip, I'm talking another member of our group. Right after I had main evented. Because I had main evented against Chip, against Jimmy Rave, against Murder One, against AJ Gray, and against Thomas Shire. Here, let's just rewind. When I turned on Chip Day, it was September of 2019, right? I turned on Chip because I had Canvas in my ear telling me all the good things that I could do and I could be champion. You know what? I believed it. And I still believe I can be champion wherever I am against Chip Day. Do you know the day that I main evented against Chip for the GWC? July 7th, 2019. Do you know the date that I'm wrestling Chip Day for the Legacy Championship?
Wow.
Oh, wow.
July 7th, 2023.
How about that?
Wow.
That's-
Wow. Wow.
That's pretty special.
That's
Wow.
serendipitous, right?
Yeah.
So either July 7th is me redeeming myself for losing the Georgia Wrestling Crown, or it is a cursed day in my career.
Mm.
And I sure as hell don't believe in curses.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely believe this is going to be my redemption.
This is just the fact that you come on with us is really awesome, because you're telling us there's so much more backstory here between you and Chip that a lot of the fans didn't know. We didn't know. I mean, we knew bits and pieces, but man, this is I was just excited. Go ahead.
I've never sat down with any of you, have I? Like I've never
Yeah.
really sat down and just talked to you. Why? Because show days are busy and I live 5 states away.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I think I make the furthest trip out of anyone in Southern Honor.
Safe to say.
I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, you know, a lot of people be like, oh, I drive the furthest. It is what it is. Like I'm the furthest one from Southern Honor. So I don't have the same time to get FaceTime with each and every one of you because
Right.
we get along at shows. We've all met each other.
Yeah.
But you know what it is.
Yeah. And
Right.
it's gotten a little bit weird over the last couple of months because we might be friendly with Chip Day, we're friendly with you, but we're never around you together, you know.
Right.
And so it's always kind of weird when you're that friend and your two other friends don't like each other,
Or-
you know. So it's a little bit
they really don't
strange.
like
And honestly,
Yeah.
we don't get a whole lot of time with Chip at the shows
True, yeah.
because you know
Yeah.
he's just coming in from work. He's getting ready for the match. We might have a hi bye, whatever, you know, what's up kind of thing. He's not been on our show other than that pre-show because of his job. So
Yeah.
Which let
You
me just
know.
put this out there before anybody comes after us for like inviting him but not inviting Kenway. We didn't know Chip was going to show up on the pre-show. That
no,
was unexpected to all of us. Just so
Hey.
everybody knows that.
Sometimes people want to.
we knew it was going to be cool.
Yeah, I
But-
didn't mind it. I'm
Yeah.
not saying like he
No.
wasn't welcome. Anybody's welcome
No.
on the pre-show.
Sure.
Let me just
No,
clarify that.
Controversial
Let's-
things to be said. Chip Day's your guy to say controversial things, sometimes to his own detriment, as he's learned.
Uh,
But
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to learn that on the 7th, because everything that came out of his mouth, I remember it, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it right back in his mouth when I ran my foot through his face,
Ooh.
because everyone talks about his kicks and stuff. Hey, y'all saw the St. Louis Smash hit Bryce Cannon last show, right?
Oh, it was
Right.
Y'all
awesome.
saw that.
It was my
Y'all saw
one of
me.
my favorite things I've seen in a long time. I appreciated that.
Yes, let me
I
just
mean-
say thank you for putting him out.
Listen, I've seen how they've treated you, and it's
Thank
very
you.
easy for you to want to just, well, hey, they're already hateable people, but like, it's very
Yes.
easy, like when you see how they treat you, that it's like, okay, I can hit this guy a lot harder now. Like,
Sure,
oh, okay,
sure. And I'll be screaming, go, 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 go the whole time. So just yes.
what does that say?
That's
Keep
me,
his name out your
Just keep Diana's name out your mouth.
and that's Bryce.
That's Bryce,
Anyways,
yeah.
you had to be there. It was awesome.
Yeah.
But, anyways, anytime anybody can knock the crap out of Bryce Cannon is a good day for me. So, anyways,
I thoroughly enjoyed doing it. So like, anytime that wants to happen, like when I win the Legacy Championship, if he wants a shot at it, like, sure thing, I will happily knock your teeth out again, Bryce.
I got to say, I do love the confidence because you said when you win that championship next
Mhm.
Friday. And what I was saying before is it's great that you're on with us because we're getting all this backstory between you and Chip. Here I am going into this match thinking I'm just excited to see the inaugural Legacy Champion crown
Yeah.
at SHW 52. But now, on top of that, we've got all of this story behind you guys. It's just unbelievable.
Like,
There's so many layers here.
Like, listen, if you're just a fan who is showing up to the show, you're going to see two phenomenal professional wrestlers wrestle a great match, right? Real talk, you'll see that. If you've been following both of our careers, you know the history. And if you
Yeah.
didn't know, well, now you know. So
Mhm.
now you have all this more vested interest in, I want to see that match.
Yeah.
And you know
Yeah.
what? I don't bring my real life situations into things. I don't bring my real life feelings towards people like Chip Day into things. Chip Day brought all this real life information into things. Let me bring it back up. Because for every minute that Chip Day and I sat on each other's couches, went through all our personal life drama together, all the stories we have on the road together, Chip Day is willing to throw that all away so he can get a little bit of an edge up in a match, right? And I could go on and on and on about Chip, but I'm not. I'm gonna just do what I do in the ring, and that's all that's going to need to be said.
Well, I tell you what,
Looking forward to this match.
it was already teed up to be a great match because of the Legacy Championship, but now I'm even more pumped for it. But on that note, this is all going down next Friday, SHW 52. You're not going to want to miss it. Be at the Action Building.
Phenomenal show.
Oh, it's going to be phenomenal. And we've got a whole card. Let's run through it. It's the week before the show. And as it's tradition here on the SHW podcast that we preview the upcoming card. And while we have our special guest, the Kenway, with us, do you mind sticking around and preview the card with us?
I would love to preview this card.
All right. Well, let's get to it here. Let's start out with a couple of Rumble Jack qualifier matches. As you know, the Rumble Jack coming up in August. Next Friday will be our final stop on the road to the Rumble Jack. And we've got two Rumble Jack qualifiers already announced. One of them, the returning Movie Mike, who we saw for the first time last month, and we've got a debuting Cabana Man Dan, who I've heard a lot about.
Okay.
I've seen this guy in Alabama and some other places throughout the Southeast. He's never made his way to Southern Honor Wrestling until now.
Okay.
So I'm very excited. We got Movie Mike, Cabana Man Dan. After we saw Movie Mike last month, very mysterious. He came away with a victory. Seemed to be a little too infatuated with Ashton Starr. He left the chair for him. Ashton never showed up. And I thought that was going to be to his detriment. I thought that might cost him the match because he was too focused on Ashton not being there. But he ended up pulling out the victory. So he's 1-0 in SHW. Now he's got a chance to qualify for the Rumblejack. And Cabana Man Dan has a chance to impress everybody in his debut by qualifying. So your thoughts on this match? Anybody, your thoughts on this qualifier match?
I have no idea who Cabana Man Dan is.
He's fun, and I think you're gonna love him. By the way, just you'll see.
Well, I mean, just the name, I'm sold just
There
with
you
the
go.
name. So I picture something colorful like Marvelous Michael Stevens would do, or something like that.
Well, I wouldn't go that
I mean,
direction.
maybe
but
not that extreme, but pretty close. Movie Mike, is he still hung up on Ashton? Is his
Good
feelings
question.
still hurt? Is he gonna cry this time? I don't know. We're having a drama. I don't get it. I don't understand what's going on. But hey, let's see who qualifies. I don't know anything else about old boy to tell you what's what. So,
GB, that's where you come in. What do you got?
yeah, you got all the goods, GB.
Here's the interesting thing I think about this. First of all, I absolutely love that we continue to get new superstars making their way into SHW. It literally feels like every month since Jake the Snake has taken over as our matchmaker, we've had new talent show up. And it has always been, I mean, that's how we got the Kenway, right? Like, it's amazing to see this new talent. So whenever new names pop up, I'm excited. Now, what's interesting is for the last couple of months, it seems as though some of the new talent that have come in have kind of had their eye on Ashton Starr, trying to prove themselves against him.
Yeah.
Movie Mike falls in that category, though. Movie Mike's kind of had a bit of an obsession, dare I say.
Right. Scary.
That's probably a small
He was talking
understatement.
a lot in the locker room about Ashton. And I'll be
Wow.
real honest. I moved my bag. It was kind of weird, man.
Really?
It's concerning.
Yeah.
He had a whole chair with his name on it, like.
I mean, that had to cost money, I would think,
I still don't know what he wants. Does he want to be his friend or does he want to be his foe? I don't understand.
Yeah.
It's not clear.
I don't know. And it makes me wonder if Movie Mike is focused enough on what the Rumblejack actually means, to want to qualify, unless for him, it's another step to get closer to Ashton. Ashton's a former SHW champion. This could lead Movie Mike potentially to the SHW title picture. I think all of that distraction for him could make things right for the Cabana Man. And so I'm intrigued to see what this match is going to bring to us.
Kenway, are you familiar with either of these guys?
I'm very familiar with both of them. So
Okay.
Movie Mike, I work a couple shows with him right now, and then Cabana Man Dan, I've wrestled on 2 different occasions. Once in Chattanooga and then once at AIW up in Cleveland. If Mike is smart, he's gonna watch the flip-flop chops, because those will take you off your game real quick. You think you got a plan until you get one right across the chest.
So when I told Diana, when I said he's fun and you're going to enjoy what he does, that's what part of what I was referring to was the flip-flop chops. You'll see.
Does he use flip flops?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
you'll see.
Oh,
You'll see. Movie Mike's obsessed with Ashton though, and like, what do you want when you're obsessed with someone? You want to be noticed, right? Like, you want to be noticed.
that attention.
Realistically, what's gonna get the attention from Ashton the best? Oh, he won the Rumblejack. He's on a 2-0 winning streak. I'm gonna give it to Movie Mike on this one. Like, I don't want to, because like I said, dude creeped me out in the last show. But like, genuinely, crazy people will go to far lengths to get what they want. He's gonna do that.
You just never know. Anyways, moving on to the next Rumblejack qualifier. This one kind of surprised us that it became a Rumblejack qualifier. Owen Knight, who was just it was so strange last month with Owen Knight, and we were going to hear from him, and then he didn't say anything, and then he joined us on commentary and literally gave us a silent treatment. GB was trying to get some questions, get anything out of him. He just sat there and popped his gum and just looked at us funny and never said a word. And eventually he got in the ring, but not after attacking Shoot Taylor after Shoot's match for what we thought was just no apparent reason other than Shoot just happened to be the one that was there. So anyways, that kind of is what sparked this match. So we thought, and then we find out it's become a Rumblejack qualifier. So not only is there a little bit of heat right there between these guys because of what happened at the last show, but now there's a lot riding on this. It's a shot at the entering the Rumblejack. And we've said this, GB, you've definitely harped on this time and time again. Shoot Taylor, future of the business, man, got all the potential in the world. Owen Knight, we know what he can do. Former SHW champ, had a great title run here in Southern Honor. And this is going to be a great matchup. And I cannot wait. I'm just wondering what kind of mindset Owen's going to be in after that. Whatever you want to call it, the promo he cut in the ring, or the he just laid it all out there to the point where he was going on, and the officials from the back had to come get him out of the ring because he just wouldn't stop going on and on. So I don't know what to make of it, but I just know if he's focused, I know Shoot's going to be focused. This has the potential to be an explosive match and a great match.
Who's talking? Kenway?
Whoever, yeah. Jump on in.
Yeah, I'll start out. Old man yelled at Cloud for a hot minute. Wow. I'm gonna give it a Shoot. I'm gonna be real. I think Owen's too angry. Owen was angry at the last show. Like when he was just on the mic, he just sounded so bitter about everything. And I don't know if it was losing the title and then losing the tag team title match, but like end of the day, Shoot's got a chip on his shoulder now. Can kind of relate to him right now, right? Like you get beat up and then you get somebody running their mouth, right? Like if Shoot's feeling the way I'm feeling and Shoot wants the revenge that I want, Shoot's gonna get it. I'm gonna say Shoot in this one. Shoot up next round of the Rumblejack.
Okay.
I have nothing against Shoot. I think he's amazing. I think this is going to be a phenomenal match. They're going to go back and forth. I already know this. It's not going to be an easy bout for either one of them. I will say Owen has been dealt some pretty stanky hands lately from his title reign.
Yeah.
Being just snubbed out as almost just like nothing in that whole triple threat, whatever match, how he lost it, to Dishonor, just disrespecting, to Nausea, just waltzing in and beating him in the best of 7, and then kind of taking over his whole entrance and the way things went for Owen.
I think your puppy agrees with you, I think.
Yeah, he's like, she's like having it. To him, he gave that tag match away. He did. He gave it away. He didn't care. He just wanted to stop Nausea from taking his thunder, I guess, maybe. I think when he was on the mic last show, he was speaking his heart, speaking his truth. And nobody really wanted to even listen, hear him out. So I'm an Owen fan. You guys know it. I'm an Owen, even though he was mean to me and he was so ugly about my mic. I'm an Owen fan. And
you're a bad boy fan is what
I
it is.
am. And it's not, I don't know what it is, but either way, Shoot's going to put on a good show, but I am rooting for Owen to come out on top because I think he's due and he deserves it.
All right.
I will say that what Owen did last month was gave us his manifesto.
Yeah.
There you go.
And in so doing, it made me wonder a few things. For one, Owen Knight, I'm going to just throw a title out there. He may or may not receive it, but I'm going to give it to him. He is Mr. Rumblejack. He is the guy who for the last 2 to 3 Rumblejacks has gone literally wire to wire. He has been that guy. He's just been that man. So you could put him in at number 1. He's going to be there at the end. If he gets any other number, expect to see him at the end. The problem here is with this manifesto, I'm not exactly sure he's interested in titles anymore.
Right.
I think he's interested in respect,
Mm-hmm.
carving his own path. So with that said, I'm not even sure if this match means Rumblejack to him.
Right.
I think it means revenge to him, which means he could be too bent on beating somebody up that he may throw the rules out the window altogether.
And nothing against Shoot. Not that he has any vendetta against Shoot. Just the fact that I think he just wants to be seen for who
I think
he
against
really
anybody, really. It doesn't matter who it is.
It
at this
doesn't matter
point.
who.
Yeah. And with that, the last time somebody had a distraction against Shoot, that being the guy who's running around calling himself Wrestler of the Year, he lost.
Right.
So with that said, I should probably cover my face because I don't want him to come after me. I'm going with Shoot Taylor. Simply because the manifesto says to me he's not interested in titles.
Right.
So
Right.
he wouldn't care if the decision is a loss. He will care if he's the last man standing.
Mm-hmm. I feel that.
I will say this before I move on to the next match. We kind of vary from preview show to preview show, whether we do pick'ems or we just talk about the matches. If you guys want to do pick'ems, feel free. I tend to just kind of like, I don't know. I'm just going to discuss the match. But if you want to pick, go right ahead. Again,
I'll say who I pick.
I know you have no problem saying it, Kenway. I know you have no problem picking who you want to pick.
Come see me in the locker room.
I just that's my thing. I don't want anybody coming to see me, so I'm just kind of it's going to be a great match. This is going to be a great match. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, they're going to be great.
Yeah. So moving on down the card here. Last month we saw the revamping of the women's division here in SHW with some new ladies coming in and having a great matchup at the last show. Well, we got another newcomer, Jada Stone, making her way to SHW. And GB, I know you're familiar with her from some other promotions, and she's been making some waves. I'm excited to see her in the building. But what'll be interesting here is Danny Jordan will be making her in-ring return. She has been back to SHW a few times since her last in-ring match, but now I can't even remember how long ago it's been. It might have been the strap match at Still Here 3. So a year and a half ago,
almost,
whatever that is.
Yeah, almost 2 years ago.
We're coming up on Still Here 5, so yeah, almost 2 years ago. And she was dealing with injuries and she's been gone a long time. But again, she's popped in a few times here and there, but she has yet to have a match. So she'll be back. Obviously, she's going to want to win her first match back. Jada Stone's going to want to win in her debut at SHW. And I know both of these ladies are top tier talent. And I think it could be anybody's match. And like I said, I'm not picking. So it's going to be good, though.
No, you don't want to pick this one because Danny will clock you.
Well, it's happened before, and I don't want it to happen again. But yes.
I don't know much about Jada. Tell me about Jada.
I was going to say, just check with GB. He'll fill us in.
Yeah, I want to hear.
Jada Stone is referred to as the Spark. Jada is 19, 20 years old.
Wow.
Jada is incredible. She's just gone through a bit of a war with Shalance Royale over the OVW Women's Championship.
Okay.
Jada is amazing in the ring. When we start talking about the future of our business, Jada Stone is the one. I'm just going to tell you, she is the one. And if you have not seen her yet, you might want to prepare. But then again, maybe you don't, because I want you to experience what she can do live and in living color. She is very, very special. And so I hope that for Danny's sake, she's not taking her lightly, because if Danny's not careful, Danny could lose this match because Jada is that talented. Jada has been in some really big spots over her short time in this business. She is, she gets it. She absolutely gets it. She is a star. She is special. And I am glad that she is finally gracing us here at SHW.
Where is she originating from?
She's originally from Columbia, South Carolina. And so she's been spending a lot of time in the Carolinas, and the Carolinas have produced some incredible wrestlers.
Cool.
So yeah, trust me, you're gonna love Jada Stone.
I'm excited. I'm excited for this one because one, it's the women's match.
Mm-hmm.
We need another, well, we need more than one, but either way, I'm excited for Dani to come back. I've seen her wrestle a few times since she has come back to the ring after injury, and she has no issues. She's just as good, if not better, than she was before. I am excited about this Jada Stone, though. She's young. I mean, she's got a good look about her. I'm excited.
She's the one.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun for sure.
Kenway, any knowledge on these two?
So I'm kind of familiar with Jada Stone from DPW. They had some really good showings there. GB, the only place that I'm gonna differ from you is when you say future of the business, I say future of the sport. Because the sport of professional wrestling is what I'm in. Now I'm also a businessman with it, so you gotta be a businessman, but sport first. Dani Jordan, the mainstay of Southern Honors Women Division, right?
Right.
This could go either way.
Shut up.
I'm gonna say Jada.
Sorry.
I'm gonna say Jada. And you know, if Jada wears a Spider-Man outfit, Dani's done for. So.
Okay.
Well played.
Listen.
Well played.
All right. Well, on that note, let's move on to the next match.
We'll
on
keep
the
our
card.
eye out for all Spider-Men in the building.
Because here's the thing, Kenway, and I know you don't realize this. I'll be the one that gets punched in the face just because it was on this podcast, even if I didn't say it. So I'm just going to move it right along here.
I'll get a main DM. Don't worry.
Well, here's a match that we don't really know much about yet. All I know is that Cruel will be returning and he will be in action. And if it's anything like the surprise matchup we got at the last show where Judas faced two guys who's, I'm sorry, guys, if they're watching this, don't even know what your names were. Don't even remember your names. But it lasted, 3 seconds, 5 seconds? It was quick. So if it's anything like that, this could be very quick. I don't know. All I know is the graphic says Cruel will be in action. Don't know his opponent. I don't envy his opponent. And
so someone's getting murked.
Yeah, yeah. Just the fact that Cruel is back. He surprised us all at the last show as Sunny Days' surprise tag team partner when we found out that Sal was injured and wasn't going to be able to compete. And so I think everybody was shocked that he was there in the first place. And you could kind of say
he'll wrestle Sunny.
Well, I was going to say you could kind of say he even kind of cost Sunny the tag team titles because Sunny ended up going through 3 or 4 tables. And 3 of them were from Cruel, and 1 of them was from Joe.
By his own teammate.
You're right, Diana. Maybe it will be Sunny Days. Who knows? I would think that Sunny would have a bone to pick with Cruel. So I don't know, but
pick your battles.
Pick your battles.
But never claimed to be in his right mind either way. So
you're right.
GB, your thoughts on Cruel being back in SHW? Here's the thing, too, to think about, and you might even be about to mention this. He lost the title. He never lost the title. Just like when Joe Black got injured and had to relinquish the title. That's what happened with Cruel. He relinquished the title due to injury back, when was it, December?
Yes.
And so is that in the back of his mind? Is that why he's back? Ultimately to regain the title? Who knows?
Yeah, there's a lot more questions than we have answers. And even him turning on Sunny Days. So where is Cruel coming from? And will Cruel have anybody with him? There's a lot of questions that we will likely get answers to. But I don't know if this means, well, then there's that, right? I don't know if Cruel is talking to us or not. I don't know. I don't know if I want to have a conversation with Cruel.
I'm not
That's
asking
something I've asked about, so I'll just sit back and not make eye contact.
Smart man.
That is scary.
That's one thing we've learned sitting at ringside in at GP. Just don't make eye contact with these guys. Because some of them, and Kenway, I know you hadn't been around that long. You've only been around a few months, but there's some guys that just love to stare us down and come over to the table and get in our face. I'm like, whoa, hey, what is going on here? So anyways, Well, who knows? I don't envy whoever his opponent's going to be, but Cruel will be in action. So that's on the card. Let's see what else we got here. We got some big tag team matches coming up, whether it's 6-man tag or regular
do the
tag
6-man.
team.
Do the 6-man. Ooh. Do the 6-man.
I'm going to save that. We'll get to that in a second. I want to talk about this hierarchy match. So the new SHW, because we're coming off of talking about Cruel, the hierarchy are the new tag team champions after what went down at the last show, technically defeating Sunny and Cruel, even though Cruel kind of had a lot to do with that. Not only did Cruel help out with that, but also the distraction from All-Star Special. Now, All-Star Special will be in action. I'll get to that here in just a few minutes, but let's talk about this hierarchy match. It's not a tag team championship match. However, if their opponents are able to win, then these opponents will get a tag team title match in the future. And they are I guess I'm saying it right, the Akudo Death Society. And there's a couple of familiar faces here. The main one being the inaugural Southern Honor champion, Kevin Ryan. He won the SHW title at the very first show. Kevin Ryan teaming with Chris Crunk. Chris Crunk, for longtime SHW fans, appeared in singles action on one show way back in March of 2019. I think it was SHW Eye of the Storm, I think was the name of that show. And he had a singles match against Corey Hollis, but that's the only time we've seen him in SHW. The last time we saw Kevin Ryan was when he injured his leg, and I believe it was February of 2022. It might have been SHW 36 or something like that. So it's been a little while since we've seen him. Now, he has been back wrestling, but just not back at SHW yet until now.
Right.
So, he's no stranger to tag teams in SHW. You had Not Yet Rated with Kevin Ryan and Jordan Kingsley. They actually fought for the inaugural SHW tag titles against Matt and Joey Lynch back in the day. So you got a tag team veteran here is what I'm saying. And he's a former SHW champion. So you can't put anything past him here. Chris Crunk's coming back in. He's got a point to prove. But the hierarchy are coming off a huge win winning these tag team titles. These are two dudes, and I'm speaking to a member of the hierarchy right here, and he can vouch for it. Two dudes you don't want to mess with, and they just won these titles.
I loved you saying Kevin Ryan is a tag team veteran and a former champion. Joe Black is a former champion. Murder One and Joe Black both vet Kevin Ryan by probably a decade and a half for Joe, and then Murder One.
You didn't let me get to all my accolades for the hierarchy. You cut me off. Anyways,
just the slander of calling Kevin Ryan a vet.
Okay, well,
he's a nice guy, but he gonna get killed.
All right. Well, there you go. Anybody else got their opinion on the? Look, I'm not saying that the hierarchy are going to have trouble with this. I'm just saying I'm trying to give them their due. For the Akudo, am I saying it right? Is it the Akudo Death Society?
Akudo Death Society.
Okay, all right.
I do expect some high flying.
Wait, what was that, Kenway?
The weird emo kids who are way too into the weird animes.
Okay, all right.
Everybody else watching Dragon Ball and they're watching Death Note.
You lost me. I'm way too old for any of this stuff. I don't know what you're talking
about.
I
don't know anything about that.
I don't know what you're talking about. Diana, what did you say? I missed what you said too.
I'm expecting some high flying. I mean, Kevin Ryan's coming back. He's always in the air.
Yeah.
I don't know much about Chris Crunk and his ability to fly, but I'm expecting some cool stuff from Kevin. But I don't expect him to have a second match after this.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm interested in the tag team continuity of this new team with Kevin Ryan. We're so accustomed to seeing him, obviously, as part of Not Yet Rated, and of course, obviously, that team broke up a while ago. But we've not seen him roll with a different tag team partner since. It'll be great to see him back. I'll tell you the thing I like the most about all of this. I like this idea that we kind of have, call it a qualifying match, an eliminator match. A tag team is now having to prove themselves to the tag team champions and earn a tag team title match. I like that.
Yeah.
I do. I mean, I like the whole idea of fighting champions, but I do think that if you're going to come in to fight for a championship, you should at least have a win under your belt, and winning against the tag team champions gives you obviously a right to fight for the tag team title. So I think this is a real proving ground for this particular tag team. I'm interested because, we've often seen the hierarchy as of late fighting with big chips on their shoulder, mad about a lot of things. Now that they've seemingly settled, and I'm saying seemingly settled this war with Happy Madness, do they need a chip on their shoulder to win a match? Probably not, but it's going to be interesting to see them operate without a chip on their shoulder. We'll find that out next Friday.
It's going to be good. And we still got 3 big old matches to talk about here. So since you asked, Diana, and since I mentioned All-Star Special, let's get to this 6-man tag team match. At the last show, Cyrus, prior to the show, had a discussion with Jake the Snake Roberts. Jake told him if he could be any one member of Exotic Youth, then he got to pick 2 partners for a 6-man tag team matchup at SHW 52. We thought he was going to maybe face Mosley or Bryce Cannon. They were arguing outside the ring. Who's it going to be? Well, we saw Pepper Bottom sneak in, try to come off the top rope. That didn't work out. Just basically got swatted out of the air and just driven into the mat. And that was another quick match. I talked about that Judas match with those 2 guys earlier. We'll talk about Cyrus and Pepper Bottom. I think GB, you even said that might have been one of the quickest matches in SHW history. And man, it was a beautiful sight. But Cyrus won. And Kenway, look, let me just explain. I try to remain unbiased for the most part. But when we talk about Exotic Youth, or we talk about Nick Halen, for instance, there's just some people that just really rub me the wrong way. And if I see him get beat down, I'm not sad about it. So anyways, you understand where I'm coming from.
I 100% understand, and shout out Cyrus for chasing off Cornelius and Zach during my match, because I was getting tired of them interfering.
There you go.
Much appreciated. Allowed me to actually have a one-on-one match with Bryce, which we saw the outcome of that. Then you add All-Star Special in, who are, great tag team there. You put them with a monster like Cyrus, like, it's an easy pick here, guys. I mean, All-Star Special and Cyrus all day long over Exotic Youth. Like, that's player expert opinion right there.
You're a smart guy.
I can't wait. Oh, I'm so excited.
So smart. I think Pepper Bottom's body imprint is still in the mat from that slam. That was nasty. I mean, nasty. I watched it again today from Impact's reel. That was nice. It was just on loop, I
was gonna say I watched it over and over and over and over.
It was nice.
Yes.
Oh, it was. Just a big bounce. He just kind of got buried inside the mat. That was pretty fun. Y'all know my pick. I don't even have to elaborate on this one. I mean, I'm just ready for the entrance. I'm ready for All-Star to come back and do their thing and then handle business. But that's where I'm at. I can't wait to see them again. I was so excited. GB, can you do what you did when they came out?
Don't blow out my speakers again. Hang on now.
Can you do it?
Kenway, I don't know if you've heard this yet. If you go on Instagram, look at Impact's clips on the Southern Honor Instagram.
Show me how excited you're going to be.
DB, you talk about losing your mind. I mean, just like the whole crowd was. It was pretty wild.
Yeah, but his was like magnified.
I do have a great suggestion, though, and I think I've made this suggestion before in terms of I rarely do suggest entrance music for them, but I think I found an appropriate song for the return of the All-Star Special. Just cue up some Eminem, Guess Who's Back? And I think that would fit the bill very, very well, because we are glad to have them back. This feels, I'm going to date myself on this, but this is more sports history than anything else. 88, 92, the U.S. Dream Team, basketball, who's gonna stop Cyrus and the All-Star Special? Like I said, Cyrus could have grabbed 2 broomsticks and still had the advantage in this match. But you go and grab the former tag team champions, one of the hottest teams in the state. This is a dream team. There's no way they lose. Like, I don't see, I mean, unless somebody gets food poisoning that day, other than,
hey, whoa, don't put that into the universe.
I'm just saying, like, I don't see a way. They don't see any way that this team loses. I think the question is, how long will Cyrus and All-Star Special play with their food?
I think that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to play with their food.
I think at some point when they finally ask for gravy on their hash browns, they're going to be ready to go.
Thank you. They're going to entertain us with this, and this is what I'm here for.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm here for.
Shout out Paul Santa, by the way, who turned us on to the gravy on the hash browns. It's not white chicken chili. It's gravy.
It's not chili. It's gravy.
You had to be there as a Waffle House inside joke. But anyways.
I was like, what?
Sorry.
Do
y'all have grits and gravy in Missouri?
Grits and gravy?
Yeah.
Yes. No, we are. Listen, I know everyone thinks like Missouri is the Midwest. No, we are very south.
Sweet. So you understand?
Yes.
Well, there you go. But hey, bottom line, that 6-man tag team match, don't get me wrong, I'm very much looking forward to the Legacy Championship match, and we'll talk about that here in a second.
Yes.
But I am so looking forward to the 6-man tag team match. Oh, I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. And they're going to get what's coming to them. Finally. So good to see Cyrus back. Cyrus surprised us all at the last show with his return. All-Star Special surprises with their return. And now they're both back, or all three of them will be back officially in this matchup. And it's going to be awesome. But moving on down the card, we got 2 more big matches left. And speaking of tag team matches, here's another big one. We officially saw the formation of the end game. You know, we saw little hints of it over the last couple of months. And now it finally came together. We got the SHW champion Judas, Nick Halen, with Todd Sexton by their side. Formidable team, to say the least. But they've got their sights set now on 2 former SHW champions, that being Gunnar Miller and Corey Hollis, who have appeared to settle their differences and seem to come together at the last show. And now we're going to see a tag team match. Corey and Gunnar taking on Judas and Nick Halen. This could be pretty explosive. I don't know what to think of this one. But I know they got Todd Sexton in the corner, and he's bound to do anything to help them win. So who knows what's going to happen, especially if that spike comes into play.
There's so much in this match that gives me trust issues. I don't know what to think.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I don't know whether to say, okay, Corey's going to hang with Gunnar and really give it a good team fight, or is he going to turn on Gunnar? I don't know. Nick, I don't think he's going to turn on Todd, but he's turned on so many. And then Todd, oh my God. I mean, we knew it was going to happen, but just to watch it happen, I don't know what to think. This is going to be a brawl. It's going to be a brawl. And I'm just going to pray for Corey right now that he does not have another boot to the face as he did before.
He took so many.
So many. I don't want to see that again. I don't.
You know, you mentioned the friendliness of Corey Hollis and Gunnar Miller. I think this is the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
That
and
part.
I think that's probably a more accurate depiction of those two. And with those two now having some common enemies in the end game, I think it's going to make for a very interesting confrontation. I'm very nervous about the end game, though. They've been together for a very long time. You know what this is like? It's like those couples that have been secretly dating, and you like wake up one day and they're married. And you're like, wait, I don't remember when you guys were even dating. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, what I'm saying is these three have been in cahoots for a long time.
Everywhere.
We're just finding out about it. So the depth of their connection, the length of it, what they're willing to do, the familiarity of it, you know, it makes me wonder how long this has been in the works. And if even, I mean, you know, we heard Todd explain even his whole idea about bringing Corey back. Todd orchestrated all of this.
Yeah.
That makes Todd in the end game extremely dangerous. So I hope that Gunner and his tag team partner are going to pull out something that they might have to go really to those Lethal Poison days, because being nice and being all Americans won't help them here.
But Gunner wasn't in Lethal Poison, was he?
No, he wasn't. He was just a long time.
There was a
faction before Lethal Poison.
Well, there was a recruiting effort for Gunner at Lethal Poison at one point, but you're right. There was faction that predated SHW prior to that. So yeah, it was a weird, it's like Gunner and Corey, it's like we're friends, then they were enemies, then they were frenemies, then they were friends, and then they were enemies, and then who knows? So the way it left off at the last show, they did embrace. There was a hug there. There was a too sweet. So I don't know.
That was just because somebody saved somebody else from getting killed.
Well, again, it could be, to GB's point, enemy of my enemy is my friend. So who knows? But yeah, this one could be a barn burner. Thoughts on this one, Kenway? Any picks or any ideas here?
You got a snake in the grass like Todd Sexton, who had all y'all believe in everything he said.
Except for GB, but the rest of us.
GB called it, which, hey, GB kept his eyes open.
Yeah. He kept trying to warn us. He warned us for months.
Guys like Todd always have a plan. Todd is a very smart man. I don't know if people realize this. This man has been in this business for as long as he has because he is smart. He is a very smart man. I will never discredit him for that. However, we've seen his actions of late. Y'all seen his actions. I'm going to go end game here. Not because I want the end game to win, but because snakes always have the ability to strike.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be unpredictable. It's going to be good, though. I can't wait. And, of course, we've got one big final match to discuss. We talked a lot about it a lot earlier, but before we wrap things up here, let's get some final thoughts on this Jake the Snake Legacy Championship match. We've reached the finals, and it's going to be Chip Day versus our guest here tonight, the Kenway. And
y'all start. y'all, I want to hear what y'all got to say.
I am not picking a winner on this one. Not doing it.
Obviously, I'm not going to pick.
Doing it.
The only match on the whole card that I will pick was that 6-man match, and that's obviously Cyrus.
That's it. I'm not picking a winner. I just want to see this. I said it after the 15-minute time draw, whatever, that we needed to see that again, and that's what we're getting. But now it's going to have a lot more hot coals thrown into this fire, and it's going to be crazy. So yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I think there's so much that interests me about this particular match. But one of the things will be time limit, or maybe lack thereof. Like there's got to
be lack thereof, because this is for the title, inaugural title here. So yeah,
ain't gonna need it. Don't need it.
Oh,
it's interesting because we heard Chip say the same thing. So you guys are obviously gonna come out with both guns blazing. I'm intrigued to see what's gonna happen. I can't call it. I really can't call it. I do know this, that this is probably a safe thing to say. I'm not sure if there will be a winner as much as there will be a survivor.
Right.
Because something tells me that these two are going to leave it all out there. And we'll have a new and first ever Jake the Snake Legacy Champion.
Kenway, the floor is yours, Kenway. I'm going to leave it to you for your final thoughts here heading into next Friday's.
I want your thoughts on this match first. I'll give you your thoughts of this match first, and then
give you a little time to think about it.
Over to you. He's like, yeah.
He's got a little time to build up to it. Okay, well, I can't really say more than Diana or Gerard just said. It's going to be an amazing match. That 15-minute time limit draw was an incredible match. And like Diana said, as soon as it ended, we were like, we got to run that one back. I can't wait to see it again. And I think there might have even been talk on this podcast of, hey, wouldn't it be crazy if both of these guys end up in this tournament and end up in the finals of this tournament? And lo and behold, here we are. And now I can't wait till next Friday. It's going to be off the chain, and I can't wait. Now the floor is yours.
I came into SHW very honestly. I came in wanting to win. talked a little bit of trash, and I came in with a purpose to secure myself a permanent job here, to win, and then to establish a legacy. And it could have all ended there. It could have all ended in the sport of professional wrestling and could have stayed there. Chip Day is now gone outside the sport, and he has just gone on every chance he has had to run me down, to try and slander me personally. And at one point, I was ready to just pull up on him and handle it, right? Handle my business the way I need to handle my business. End of the day, this is a sport. But do not think for a second that when I step in that ring with him, that I am not bringing every bit of personal emotion I have towards Doyle to the ring. Understand that right now. When I say I'm gonna knock his teeth out, I'm gonna show y'all what he used to look like, the yuck tooth bastard he is. I'm going to run him down in that ring like he's ran me down every day that he's gotten a chance on a live camera. Well, I've sat back and I've stayed composed and happy. Y'all want to see a friendship go down in flames. It will go down in flames at the Legacy Championship match. This isn't about my getting Chip Day's respect. It isn't about me getting his friendship back. I don't give a shit about any of that. I'm gonna beat his motherfucking ass is what I'm gonna do. That's all I gotta say. There's only one thing left to do after that, and it's a quote from my favorite movie, Major League. Only one thing left to do, win the whole thing.
Well, there you have it. The Kenway, ready for next Friday. We're ready for next Friday. SHW 52 coming your way from the Action Building, Canton, Georgia, 261 Marietta Road. Come on out and join us. Tickets go on sale at the door the night of the show, starting at 5 p.m. Doors open at 7 p.m. Bell time at 8 p.m. We will be doing this show as the live pre-show from 7 to 7:30 on Facebook, so be sure you tune in. Again, like last time, you never know who might show up.
I might have to pull up on this one.
Kenway could show up. You never know who might show up. Anything's bound to happen. But what we do know is after that card we just ran through, that we just previewed, if you're not pumped, then I don't know what's wrong with you. You need to check your pulse because it's going to be an amazing card. We can't wait to see you there. But until we do see you there, this has been
SHW.
This is our wrestling.
Thank you, Kenway. We'll see you next Friday.
See you guys Friday.